If you often rush to Figma to then find yourself having to circle back to endless iterations, you're probably not taking the time to work on a solid foundation, on getting clarity on what the structure of your design is going to look like. In this video, I invite you to think about wireframing as a way to ensure that your designs are going to be user-centered and that this process is going to be smoother for you. Hi, I'm Deborah. I've been designing for over 6 years, and I'm here to share all I know on wireframing and also to show how I go through this process myself. Let's start with the definition. What's a wireframe after all? Picture it like this. If your final design is a house, then your wireframe is your blueprint. Just like a blueprint, it will show you the structure of the project. So where the rooms are going to be, where you're going to build the walls, where you're going to add the furniture. Now, talking about apps and web pages, your wireframe is going to show you the structure of your elements within your design. So that is the text, the buttons, the images, and so on. When you're designing a product, your final destination is the high-fidelity interfaces. That is, the screens that are going to closely match the final result of a product's design. Wireframes are low-fidelity interfaces, so there are some steps behind, but they help you build this foundation for you to reach your destination. If you take the Uber homepage, for example, you'll be able to find a map, a search bar, the navigation, some buttons. Wireframing is taking this time to think of this structure before you think of anything related to the visual aspect of your design. It helps you get clarity on what you'll be designing later on. You focus on the user experience without being distracted by visual design elements. You prioritize functionality over aesthetics, and you also experiment with multiple layouts quickly. So in this case, wireframes are not about colors, about branding, about typography, or even the text, the copy that will be in your design. So if you search for the word wireframe, you're most likely only going to find white backgrounds, some black doodles in the front, and some gray here and there. And you may be wondering, do I always have to wireframe before going to high fidelity? And the answer is no. Wireframing is an optional step, but I truly advise you to do it because it will give you clarity from the start. It will save you time later down the road as you'll be designing more assertively. Okay, so now let's talk about how to wireframe. So basically, you have a couple of options on where you can wireframe. You can get a pencil and a piece of paper and draw it. You can do it on Figma. And if you have a tablet, you can also grab that and draw it there, which is personally my favorite. But that's one of those questions that only you will be able to answer. And now I'm going to take you to my 5-step process for me to wireframe. I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person that I really like to design having some background music. And that's no different when I'm wireframing. So I like to get my playlist and start listening to something. Then I go ahead and make a list of all the things that I want to include in my wireframe. That's going to vary depending on what you are designing. Based on your context, you'll be able to make your list of elements. Once I have this list, I time 2 to 5 minutes for me to draw the first structure of the page. That's where most designers stop. But what I like to do is to then time 10 extra minutes for me to be able to work on at least 3 other types of layouts. That really helps me experiment with different options. Then, with at least 4 different types of wireframes, I go ahead and I make one final one where I'll be making the structure, getting the best things from each wireframe that I think that it's really going to impact positively the design that I'll be doing later on. You can see that this entire process usually doesn't take me more than 20 minutes. So that's why I believe it's totally worth it for you to wireframe, because of the clarity that you'll be given and also for the time that you'll be saving when it's time for you to go to Figma and start designing the high fidelity interfaces. Well, and that's all when it comes to wireframing. I made this video based on a suggestion that I received in one of the comments from Abdul. If there's something that you would like me to talk about in the upcoming videos, do the same and leave me a comment with your suggestion. And lastly, if you found this video helpful about wireframing, make sure to check out this one, where I show you how I built an effective work routine product. Thank you so much for watching until this point, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy designing!